Alright, so we're back at it. This is my little mock-up of how my amps are going to be orientated on the amp rack here. As you can see how that works. There will probably be a little bit more space in between the amps, but right now I don't have anything to place in there. So I got to build the little frame that holds this other amp here, so I can get some space in between there. So that's going to be next. But as you can see, it looks pretty cool like that. The amps stacked on each other. Alright, so a little more progress in the amp rack. Slid my batteries in there and mounted up my new fuse holder. Now we're just going to start wiring up zero gauge. What I decided to do was put my holes through the firewall. I already had one in here, and now we got another one. So we can run our two runs. One's positive, one's going to be negative. The negative is going to be my old positive right here. And this camera is not focusing. Yeah. So we'll make this into a negative. And then our positive is the power wire over there. So I'm going to go ahead and run those, get my lengths, pull them back out, solder them up, and we'll be making some good progress. I'm going to do a little soldering here with some 6040 rosin core and the zero gauge Sky High OFC wire. Start up our torch. Get some heat on it. Don't want to get it too hot. Just trying to heat up this terminal. You don't want to heat up the solder before it hits the terminal. You want the solder to melt because of the terminal's heat. Then it'll sink in there really well. Good focus on there. There we go. It's a nice little cap on there. There's the other end. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. So that's how I've been soldering all of the stuff today. It's a little jumper between batteries right there. Alright, so we got the ends put on here. There's my piece of wire. The heat shrinks on it. Ready to install. It's the progress we got going on the batteries here. Slowly wiring it all up. Now I'm working on the last part of the amp rack, which is the little mount part for the front amp. And as you can see, I made one here. That sits flat on the ground and the amp mounts here. So it'll be tipping back. I'm going to make a little bracket here to bolt on, and then we should be able to mount it in the car. Cutting out this last piece here. Been using the saw. And this is a 120-degree angle. So what I did, I took a protractor and marked out the angle for half that, which is 55 degrees. So I'm making two 55-degree cuts, one in each half of the piece. And when they go together, they create the 110 degrees, not 20. 110 degrees. And this piece I just made should go right up to that one, like that. So I'm going to finish cutting this one out, and we can make the little brackets that connect everything together. You can see there's my aluminum mounting brackets I've made. I etched them kind of to look like the aluminum on the amps. So you can see it's pretty sweet. There's that angle I was talking about. And it's pretty strong. It's not moving. So we're really stoked. Now I just gotta start plugging everything in. But that took a long time. But it's all in there. I used little Allens to mount it all. It'll fit behind the seat just right, with some room to breathe, it looks like. But now I gotta start thinking about wires. These are all speaker wires. I gotta test it, see which ones are which. So that's gonna take a little bit, because I didn't label any of them. So all I have to do is just kind of use my meter and listen. Most of them I'll be able to do, except for like 2 or 3 of them. But that's all part of the game here. Then I got all the RCAs piled up here. I'm gonna start running all the RCAs. Lots to do. And just keep on working. I did also get these some of these wires made up for the batteries. So once it starts coming together, it's going to start looking really good. So we'll just keep it updates. A lot of work ahead, but got a lot of the hard stuff already. Alright, so we made a bunch of progress today. I got the box back in, and you can see how flush it is to the back piece. Just wired up speaker positive negative with 4 gauge sky high. So should be getting good power to the speakers. And I'll show you the amp rack. I think it's all done now. I'm really happy. Here's the under seat. When you fold up the seat, this is what you're gonna see. Gotta clean up the other side a little bit. And then when you fold down the seat, there's our amp rack. You can see I got those as clean as I can. It's all 0 gauge and 4 gauge and 8 gauge. All sky high. But we'll get you good look now in the daylight of it. There's the little amp hold-in, amp rack piece I made, holds the amp there. Got all the new Concepts RCAs. Then sky high, that's 0, that's a 4, and that's an 8 gauge. I don't know why there's a socket there. Looks pretty good to me. Really pretty stoked. I'm about to plug in the head unit, hook up the front battery, and test everything. We got the side speakers in, doors are back together. Just gotta clean up the dash a little bit, and then start putting the floor in. I think I'm pretty much done here. I'm just gonna wire up the 2 speaker positive negatives. Oh, and I got to get the 8-inch put back in there, so I'll do that. But I've been really busy soldering today. Really happy with the way this looks. It looks just amazing. For a small system, that's a lot of wire. So a lot of good power going to these. Gonna have about 3,000 watts coming out of here. So pretty happy. Here's the subs, just how we